Krampus, Spring-Heeled Jack, Baba Yaga. The archives are privy to many legends, some more obscure than others. But more importantly, it knows their origins. Hello, my name is Fredrik, and this is my helpful colleague, Benjamin. We offer you a warm welcome to the archives. This time we are covering perhaps the best known of Russia's folkloric characters. Within Russia, she has dozens of names, with each location calling her by something different, but no matter where you go, everyone will still recognize her as Baba Yaga, often pronounced as Baba Yaga. Nowadays, searching for tales on her will give numerous modern renditions, some casting her as a nasty, evil witch, while others interpret her as a more friendly character, in tune with nature and the forest. She's a favorite subject for children's animation. As tantalizing as both of these descriptions are, neither is quite complete. So who is she, and what motivates her? Every aspect of the Baba Yaga seems to distort the familiar into something ghastly and terrifying. Her face is horrendous, with a comically long nose that she uses to rake coals, and she boasts sharp teeth made of iron that can chew through trees. Her body is emaciated and frail-looking, and she is often called Baba Yaga Bony Legs, an aspect which was known to imply demonic power. In some tales, her legs are even made of metal. Her home has a similarly outlandish appearance. She lives in a small hut with no doors and no windows, surrounded by a fence whose posts are topped with human skulls. Inside each skull is a flame that burns with otherworldly light. But perhaps most striking is that her hut stands on a pair of chicken legs, upon which it spins in circles. On these legs, the hut strides through the forest while Baba Yaga lies down on her stove, her limbs touching the walls and her nose touching the ceiling and rattling the hut as she snores. This house can be stopped from the outside with a set of magic words that translate approximately to "Hut, hut, stand with your back to the forest, your front to me." Baba Yaga, however, may simply stop it on a whim. When she wishes to move about the forest more quickly, she eschews the traditional witch's broom in favor of flying around in a mortar. She will step into its bowl, tuck her knees to her chest, then push herself off with a pestle which she wields like a wand, a bludgeon, and a push-pole all in one. Often when she does so, it is to find children to snatch away and cook in her stove to eat. She still brings a broom with her, but only to sweep away her tracks. And she isn't alone. Tales will often tell not only of one Baba Yaga, but a trio of sisters, some more generous than others, and other times she will have sons and daughters who live with her that do her bidding, and the lack of any paternal figure suggests that she may reproduce without the need of a man. Despite knowing so much about her, two large questions remain unanswered. Who is she, and where does she come from? Baba Yaga is an extremely nebulous figure, starting with her name. The term Baba is well known for being babble talk for mother or grandma, but the term Yaga is more problematic. There is no obvious meaning for this word Yaga, and scholars have put forth dozens of theories as to the origin of this name, ranging from illness to snake. But the one consistent factor in these theories is that the name is derived from some negative meaning. Her status as a witch is also not so clear. Though she shares a number of superficial similarities, and tales will often use this very term to define her, there are a number of traits about her that defy this definition. For example, using a mortar and pestle for locomotion is not a typical trait for a witch, nor is a hut with chicken legs and a fence made of burning skulls. Moreover, there is never any talk of her lineage. She seems to be as old as the forest itself, even though the forest animals often treat her with the same disdain she shows them. Sometimes she is called a mother-in-law to the main character, but this relationship is tenuous at best. Her role in folktales is also abnormal more often than not. Baba Yaga is frequently sought out by normal humans who all somehow know just the right words to stop her hut during its travels. What she does with these people after they find her is always uncertain. Sometimes she will immediately attempt to capture and eat the hero or heroine, while other times she will give them a series of difficult, grueling tasks. If they fail, she threatens to eat them, but if they succeed, then the hero is given some boon, often one of her numerous magical objects. In perhaps the most famous tale involving Baba Yaga, a girl named Vasilia the Beautiful is sent out to perform an impossible task by her evil stepmother when she finds Baba Yaga. After completing a set of less impossible tasks, Baba Yaga gifts Vasilia a staff with one of her fence's burning skulls affixed to the top. When she arrives home, the skull engulfs her stepmother and stepsisters in flame. Baba Yaga also will sometimes act as a medium or psychopomp to the land of the dead, allowing or denying mortals passage. In all of her tales, Baba Yaga acts in at least one of two roles, that of the villain and that of the donor, though sometimes this latter role is performed unwillingly. Often, after overcoming Baba Yaga, the characters will steal objects from her that later prove useful. For example, in another famous tale involving her, a boy and a girl escape from her hut with a magical towel and comb. As they are running from her, they throw the towel behind them and a river forms. Then, when she continues her pursuit, they throw the comb and a thick forest forms behind them, after which Baba Yaga gives up. Anthropologist Vladimir Prop, in this case, describes her as an unwilling and hostile donor. She is perhaps best described as ambivalent and belligerent, and she usually comes across as self-interested. Her status as myth changes depending on where the tales are being told. In most places, she seems to be regarded as nothing more than a folk tale, but magical incantations that invoke the Baba Yaga have been recorded in multiple places through Russia and in the southern Slavic regions. Oddly, these spells are sometimes used by men to achieve the affection of a woman. The origin of her tales is also remarkably opaque. Though some Russians claim that Baba Yaga was entirely conceived in Russia, this is almost certainly untrue. Looking into East and West Slavic folk traditions, obvious and direct analogues for Baba Yaga can be found under any number of names, often with the word Baba somewhere in it, such as Jezi Baba or Egi Baba. Among these magical women can be found nearly all of the traits of Baba Yaga, including her iron teeth, her nose, and even her hut. These progenitors are so numerous and so interchangeable that often storytellers would use them as synonymous characters since, for all practical purposes, they were the same character. Only when they moved to Russia did the name Baba Yaga or Yaga Baba solidify. Though there is no hard evidence, there is a likely source for her strange chicken-legged hut. The nomadic people of Siberia would often create storehouses with no doors or windows, just like Baba Yaga's abode. These huts would be placed on stilts made out of carved-up trees in close proximity to one another so that their floors would rest high above the ground. This would ward off animals so that, when the nomads returned, their provisions would still be available. With the roots or foundations splayed out, they very easily resemble chickens' feet. Smaller versions of these huts would also be used for religious shrines and cremation. When a doll would be placed inside a tiny one, it would greatly resemble the Baba Yaga in her cramped living space. This also might explain why she is associated with the realm of the dead. Despite all of this information on her, there is still much left ambiguous. Whether she has some even more distant pagan progenitor or if she was an invention of the medieval era remains lost to time. Even so, her enigmatic nature has become a wide vessel into which modern storytellers can pour their interpretation and creativity, and so far, no old women have come out of the forest to rebuke them. With each passing tale, the legend of the Baba Yaga grows, and interest in her only seems to be increasing. Is she gone? Oh, thank God, I thought that hut was going to start knocking over shelves. Well, Benjamin, Hold on. I feel like I've forgotten something important. Here, I'll make us some tea. God knows we could use it after seeing that monstrosity.